feel like it was going to be a good day. Just looking out and seeing like the full arc, the full rainbow. I hope all of you guys got a chance to see that. If you went out to the parking lot, you could see the full thing. It was really beautiful. And if you didn't, I have photos, so come ask me for it. And then I also really enjoyed just helping out at that, I think it was kind of nature conservancy type of area where we were at. Everybody was just super nice and really supportive, and you could tell that they appreciated our help, and I really appreciated working with them too. And I just thought it was really nice just to help out that community like that and plant some plants, water some plants, and pull out some plastic from the ground. Made me feel really good. So, yeah.
So it's probably the reason I was really open-ended is that I completely spaced on the double rainbow, even though that started our day. So it needs to not be like my interpretation of what we did, but you're like what you were calling what's like really like rising to the surface for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Be the microplastic.
Julianne.
For me, I do remember the double rainbow, but for me, the day really started when we were riding in the back of the trucks up towards the side. That's when I was really like, oh, fucking, you know?
Yeah.
It was just like, I was just like, okay. That's when I actually became conscious for the day. And then while we were there, I was like, oh, this is like pretty cool. I think it was really frustrating how many layers of the plastic, like, I don't know what was going on down there, but there's just so much plastic and it's just like making everything so much harder. But I think everyone pulled through. We really pulled patience out of like hammer space to deal with that. But where was I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that. But either way, I think it was a really fun experience. I had a lot of questions today. I was very chatty, and everyone was really like patient with me and answered all my questions, which was really nice.
I'm gonna have us put our phones away.
And then, hold on, I kind of spaced out after
No
that,
worries,
and then
yeah.
I spaced back in, like, when
I
we got
really, my visual was stuck on that plastic. I really just wanted to peel it off like those paint strips or whatever, like where I wanted to be like one big consistent layer, but it wasn't really an option because there were roots that were like, no.
But yeah, and then I just remember the shaved ice, and then, of course, long shrugs.
Say it again.
Going to long shrugs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, say it again, please. Yes, right.
CVS for the official record. Long shrugs, I'm just
No,
kidding.
CVS and yeah.
It's better.
You got it. I know. Totally not my idea, right?
No, of course not.
No,
you,
really,
you just
what
had
you
to
say?
you just had to
I was like-
look out for us, you know?
I had a really good question.
Yeah, she was just doing what's best for the Stacy mobile.
Gordon's Fisherman.
That's
Paddington.
My day started when Stacy gave me her hat, and I feel like I really became a sentient person. And
Wow.
there was like no better time to be alive, truly.
Wow. Wow. All from a hat. That's good.
There's some magic in it. You would have to put it.
It's like Frosty the Snowman. It's like Frosty the Snowman.
No, I thought today was incredible. I feel like another great day, another great experience, helping the community and learning more about Hawaii. I really liked getting to hear this perspective from the locals there and their grievances with how their local government has handled the fire. I didn't know previously that it didn't even get an evacuation notice to their cell phone that we usually do. Like when we were driving to the airport, we got evacuation notices as we were driving through the areas, and they didn't get any. And to hear that they didn't have any communication for 3 weeks, and specifically when I worked with a woman named Jordan, she was talking to me about how she was pregnant with her daughter at the time, and she didn't get any medical care because there were no doctors to see because Lahaina had burned down. And it wasn't something that it seems obvious in retrospect that people wouldn't be able to go to their doctor's appointments, but it was really hard to hear that she wasn't able to get checkups for her pregnancy as she was dealing with late-term pregnancy. So it really put into perspective what we had talked about in our orientations and all of the other things about how this has greatly affected all of the people that live there. And to have that incredible view of looking out at their little parcel of land with all the greenery and then all of the brown and then the resort, again, just put it into perspective.
Yeah, I think what you're describing, I'll think about it when it's really hard for us to get a doctor's appointment or something like that. But I think of people in these war zones and other places that are really lacking in that kind of care. But like what you're describing, a lot of what we heard felt like a war zone type.
It did.
Experience,
I
you know.
feel like when we were driving up in the car, I was like, Sveti and I were on the inside, and I was telling her, like, when we were driving through all the burned area of the plantation, I was like, this looks like another planet. Like, it doesn't look like Earth.
And when you get back, it's gonna be, if you've never seen like what it looks like after a fire happens, like it's gonna be there, and it's gonna be really strange to see these really familiar sites. Even seeing it in hillsides of Ventura and all that kind of stuff. Like to see buildings that we're really familiar with, and skylines that we're really familiar with. They're not going to be the same, and it's going to be really shocking, especially since we haven't been even seeing the fire that has been causing that. So it'll be interesting for you to bring that perspective back home too.
Also, P.S. I'm really grateful for the shaved ice, and I really appreciate that you guys curated that experience for us. Thank you.
What?
Yay!
Brilliant ideas, whoever that idea that was. Brilliant idea.
I disappeared, so I was like, okay. My coat. But thank you.
Thank you.
For me, what stuck with me the most was beginning the day with a blessing. I've been liking how each place that we've gone to starts that way, and I just appreciate how they set the tone for anything that we do, like blessing the project and the land. And I really liked how Jordan was saying in Hawaiian culture, once you start something, you have to like finish it, like, or close it off. So that stuck with me a lot. And then just having like that subtle rain that was there while we were up there working was kind of symbolic to me in a way, because it was just nice that the sun wasn't blazing and there was some rain, and it just felt like good all over being there, and then seeing a whole bunch of rainbows. Today was like the day that I saw the most rainbows today, so it was just like good signs all over. And then just ending the day with the shaved ice, and honestly going towards the resort felt a little like, I don't know, kind of knowing what we know, especially from today, listening to how passionate he was about the fires, and like it was just a different perspective from what we heard in the meeting. Like it felt like a more real and raw perspective. And going through the tourist area, it just made me feel like a little like, I don't know, I just saw it different. Like I saw the disconnect from where we were previously. But it really did make me appreciate the work that we've been putting in for the community and continue to do it. Yeah, it was a good thing.
And I think for today, more than like when we went to the mall the other day, like I felt more the sense like I understand why people like these spaces, like it's so big and open, and it's got the pool or whatever, and it's like, and you understand that these are the trips that people give away or they take for a honeymoon or a special thing, and so it's like you understand that appeal and that part of the imaginary, as much as you also think about everyone that makes it possible. And it's kind of the way I feel like when I go to Disneyland now, like I know everyone, we have more visibility around the labor, like all these spaces that are supposed to give us joy and pleasure and fun, there's so much labor behind it. Not unlike the labor that goes behind a trip like this or something, but we don't even, it's much more laborious. Anything that we've done today, like people do it, 18 hours a day on end, much worse. So I think that it is different. And it doesn't mean that you couldn't, if you had the opportunity for a trip like that you couldn't enjoy it, but you could still experience it on your own terms. And even just being someone who's like really kind and respectful to the people that are working there, like they can always tell when you're different than the other people who are there, that you're not the one that's going to yell at someone on the beach or be rude to them.
We did have some people ask us like, what are you guys doing here? And I think someone asked.
You mean at the resort?
Yeah, at the resort, because we looked. I mean, we're all dirty. We looked different compared to like what everybody else looked like there, and I could tell people were just kind of like looking, like, what are you guys doing here anyway? But I could tell that the workers were like genuinely asking, and like, we're happy that. Right? What did she tell you? Like she was.
I was gonna say the guys that when we walked in and they asked, they said, "Oh, you guys were dirt biking or ATV and driving?" And I said, "No, we were helping with the restoration in Kalapua." And then both of them were like, "Oh,
Yeah, that's really wonderful.
And we talked about like what the details of what we were doing, and I think it was when me and I were both talking to them, and both of them, they are like really smiling a lot, and they were like, "Thank you so much for all that you've done." It was just kind of interesting. They're like, "Oh yeah, you guys are tourists," and then we said what we were doing, and they're like, "Oh."
Yeah, you see their place, like, and then the sense of place that it is for them beyond like the
Jeremy?
Jeremy?
Yeah. I feel like everything that he said just made me appreciate everything that I have in my life and just made me like humbled me more because he just, I don't know, just everything that he said, I was like, damn, I don't struggle like that. And and a little side thing that me, Kim, and Cole were doing on the iNaturalist, like we were having a little competition. So that was just a little fun thing. That
Yeah.
I really enjoyed today, and I feel like each day just has one specific things that makes me appreciate what I have.
And I think, you know, just like the people here have been so empathetic to our fire situations and everything, like, because someone has gone through a lot, it doesn't diminish the challenges that you face or the difficulties you face. And I think that's an important part of, you know, that, and people relate to that, you know, being human and being alive and being in this world, you know, there are struggles and challenges, and that's part of it. And that there's still a piece of you that you have complexities in your life, and there's that piece of you that can then connect with them as well, and that you can just bring your humanity to what they're doing, and just, you know, the fact that you're giving the gift of yourself and the fact that you're showing up as yourself is, you know, making that connection that helps make their struggle easier too.
And can I just say a little humble brag?
Yes, absolutely.
She's winning.
I got like 67. I'm so far on the top.
iNaturalist. That's fantastic.
The most identifying of anybody.
Is that what you're looking at your phone? I know.
Yeah, that's her.
I know. I'm like, this is like my first year writing class.
She's only number 1 for now.
Wow. Wow.
I
Okay.
will not be stealing it.
Kim, the not leader.
If it wasn't for me, she would not be in the
Oh, now it's starting. Now it's starting.
I helped everyone.
I'm sure all the echoing sounds are really helping your
For me, honestly, I really enjoyed when Jeremy said that he's not doing it for himself, he's doing it for the future generations. And for me, that's exactly what I feel being in this major. Like, I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for my sisters. My 6-year-old sister, her name is Bella. Like, I'm doing it for her. My 12-year-old sister, Eleni, I'm doing it for her. Like, I want them to know that they have a world to enjoy in the future. And when he said that it was for his niece and his nephew and all of them, for them to have a future, it really touched me and solidified me that I'm in the right major, and that I just want to continue the work that I'm doing. And when Jordan said that, when it started drizzling, she said that it made her day. Like, she seemed like they were doing the right thing, and just being a part of that was humbling, and I really want to come back and just do that with them. So.
Cool.
I want to give a shout out to people wearing their shirts too, because as long as we have like a few people wearing it, that people always connect us, because we don't know who saw us there at that meeting, right? Like, and so thank you. I think that, and then us as a group, like just the presence we all bring, like we're deepening relationships at a record that I've never seen before, really, for this kind of ongoing commitment that we're trying to cultivate.
I'll start with the negative, because it was ultimately a good day, but I was hearing like the speech,
Yeah.
and I was getting upset. I was getting, and it was, part of it was just like the background too, because it was so beautiful, but then you see all the burned stuff, and then you see the little, green, well, the only green you'll see is the resort area, and it's just like, this, I felt the like, I obviously have not been a part of it, but I was just like, I felt how he was describing it. I was just like, that's terrible. But on the positive note, I had a lot of fun stuff today, and that was cool. The Shave Eyes was pretty fun. I enjoyed working with Elise. We just hosed on everything, and I hope y'all like the burger.
Killer burgers.
Grill now.
Yes. I saw there's more meat in there too, so I guess we'll get to have more burgers.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
We had all the beef in the pot, and I was getting worried. I was like, oh my god, that's a ton of beef. And then William was like, should we put everything in? I'm like, no, we're good.
See, I'm so glad you stopped me because I was ready to put the rest in.
Yeah, no, I was like, no, this is too much.
You still be out there.
Yeah, it's still burgers, all the burgers. Yeah, it was a good day. It was just,
I had a really good day. So my highlight was working together. I think there were 4 or 5 of us digging out roots, and each of us took turns. So it was very satisfying getting them out. There's something else I was gonna say. Can't remember. Sorry.
Don't worry. What do you think of it? You can come back to it too.
Okay.
What did you do? So, which car were you in? The shopping car? Zach, I know.
It was Zam.
The favorite, I know. There's also a, I think you have the favorite vehicle at this point. So.
Still time.
Well, I mean, they're just different experiences.
Yeah, that's what I told my man over and over.
But I really love, like, it's so fun because I don't think, I know what you've been doing this whole, I've only been part of this, as long as you haven't, but I know what you've already done, and I was saying that we're building this resume, like, daily, really, and so, seeing you all tackle those roots and everything on Thursday, then I knew what you could do today, and then I was able to get into it more too, and I was like, man, like, this is really hard, so like, just the fact that you're going after it day after day, and really know it, like, I do have a massage gun I keep forgetting to bring out. I should bring that up right now. But you're just going after it every day, and you seem to be energized each day. And I think the calling us in and all of that, and those practices, and knowing there's a bigger purpose makes it a lot, as opposed to like doing yard work at home or something, right? So but I always love the way that you go after these tasks.
I appreciate it. Just because I haven't been going to the gym, so I'm just trying to put into it.
I also have not been like.
Free gym. This class is a free gym.
And I remembered what I was gonna say. So I think it's cool that we came together for I think like 4 hours, and we got a lot done. And they said that with their crew, it would take them like a month to do. It only took us like 4 hours, but working together. So I think that's really cool.
And I know that because I know it's like when I'd be at the shelter like with the rat. I would have like 60 rats to take care of, and I'm doing all this stuff with adoptions and this and that and all these things happening. And I would be there like till midnight sometimes cleaning all these cages by myself because I didn't have you just need numbers and especially like you're not just like warm bodies, but you're actually engaged and really committed bodies who are capable of this work. And so that if they had this volume, I can only imagine how far these projects would be if they had this volume of people every weekend that knew and could really get into it. So yeah, I think that was. I'm glad you said that because I loved it at the time and I again forgot about it. It's so hard. That's why we record this too. So thank you.
Yeah, let's see. I found Uncle Jeremy's monologues quite interesting. They remind me a lot of my own uncles, like my actual family uncles, old monologues, which makes you think, like in a way, like. He wasn't from here, like we were in California, and like people go through very similar things in different places, and it's like connecting in a way that each individual experience is very different and everything, but there are some things that connect us there, and the desire to be recognized, the desire for your own space, your place, that sort of thing. But it's fun to listen to him. You could tell like the passion was definitely flowing. That was cool. And then I like working on these restoration type things. It's a lot of fun. I don't want to stop. And that's always the hard part when you see a spot like that. Like there's so many roots, and it's like, oh, you have an excavator, like bring it out, let's get it done. But there's like only so much time, and but it's fun. Watering plants, building berms, like all that stuff is just fun. I don't know. Feels good. Yeah.
And I love love that you can just get at it with the drone too, and like it just, and you know, I know it's not the most thrilling thing for you to do.
That was another, yeah. I mean, it's never. I like working with the hands, and then Sean's like, "Hey, do this map." We talked about it. It's like, I mean, I understand the the need for it though, and like it's gonna help those people. Like they're gonna have a map later on. It's gonna be great. But I was like sitting there holding a drone, and, like still trying to use a shovel. It didn't work that well, but like yeah.
Did make a good picture though.
It made a good photo. That's true.
You actually, but I think that's like there's a sort of marshmallow challenge thing, but also like really like sort of the immediate reward versus the long-term reward, and like that's something that you can do that not a lot of people can do for them, and not in the way that you're able to do it for them. You know, they were talking a little bit about drones, and definitely it was not a comfort area for that team. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I think today was kind of the most impactful for me so far, kind of for the reasons that all you guys were saying. Like everything that Jeremy was saying was, you know, they seem so like beaten down. Like talking about how the owner of our camp like has their ancestral remains.
I know.
Taunts them, and the mass grave that was at Black Rock that was incinerated, like. You know, just terrible things, and when they're not getting any assistance, they feel forgotten and neglected, like Dr. Anderson was kind of been saying. And you can really see like their appreciation for us. Like everybody, all the volunteers walking past us kept thanking us. It's such a small part of our trip, and it saves them, 1 month, 2 months of work. It's just, I don't know, it's really crazy. Seeing the Hawaiian flag in distress with the resorts down the hill, like that scene itself is insane. And then going to the resorts and seeing those little penguins was also really sad. In such a small space, and they were so tired. But I did really enjoy the shaved ice, as someone said, and I did really enjoy these microplastics lectures they've been having. I think that was very eye-opening and informative for me, so I really appreciated those.
And luckily, the fact that he knows that we are. Like we want to stay at a place like we're open to not luxury accommodation. We don't want that, so I think that the fact that where we're staying also has its own complexities, and now with regard to other future housing for us. So it all fits into there's a progression that will happen, and so thank God, if we had to tell him that we stayed where we did last year, he would have really.
I told him.
Okay, yeah, no, I did tell him. So yes, thank you, and you're a good axe thrower too.
Yeah. Oh, that was also another highlight.
No, we don't have time to talk about that. No, sorry, no time. No time.
So I really agree with you and everybody else, with what Jeremy and everybody else have been saying while we're out there working. I also just enjoyed going out there and helping them do some of the tasks that everybody has been saying. Like they said it takes them a while to do. It felt nice to just do some work and try to get stuff done. I thought it was very motivational that he's like, oh, I'm doing this for future generations so they can have this experience that I may not be able to have. I thought that was very thoughtful and kind, just very nice to do. I didn't really I thought it was kind of weird how the resorts had penguins. It was kind of random. I don't know why.
What's possibly random about penguins in Hawaii? What's wrong with that picture?
It's super weird because there used to be other creatures, and now it's the penguins. And so I don't know if it's because of the construction they're doing or what, but it's it makes it even odder. I guess a polar bear would just push us over the edge. But.
Yeah, I thought that was weird, but I really liked the shaved ice and just the working and helping getting stuff done and going to the ABC store. That was really cool.
Exploring the Great Reef.
Nice. Nice.
Speaking of the ABC store,
I know, let's hear it.
I spent $90 at the ABC store.
Oh, do you get a microscope? Do you get a microscope?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, right.
Way more.
Wow.
Wow.
Souvenir haul. You know what? Tomorrow, I'll spend $100. Trust.
You should come and get those rewards so you can win a prize, but whatever,
Yeah.
valuable prize.
Yeah, anyways, I had a lot of fun today. I love getting dirty. I love getting in it
like in the dirt, in the mud. I feel like if my pants are dirty, if my hands are dirty, I got like dirt underneath my nails, it means I did something worthwhile.
Cool.
And obviously I love helping out the community, getting to know the locals more. The little kids were fun to watch. I love them so much. Yeah, I made a friend today too.
Yeah.
Kaylee was really nice.
Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Yes. So she is born and raised here. Her dad is from Mexico and her mom's from here. And she's moving to Texas, or her family's moving to Texas right after she moves to college. So she's not excited about not being able to come home for like breaks and stuff. So yeah, she's like sweet. I really like her.
She had shared with us that her family has rented her whole life and that her family's never actually been able to purchase a home down here, and that was another reason that kind of prompted her family to want to move over to Texas, is because from what I understand is they have like a vacation home out there that they actually own, and there's some other family out there. And so I thought that was really interesting that even though she was born and raised here and her family, it seems like they were from here, they still did not own like a family home, or there was no home in the family. They'd been renting their whole life.
Yep.
So
Yeah, she said they just wanted